Hi there, I'm Diane, and this concert is called Dark Side of the Mind. I want to mention I have some different sounds set up this time. If you've heard my past live streams and you think this sound is better, let me know in the comments at some point, so I think I came up with a better solution. I'm going to start with some music that acknowledges the dark side of the year in terms of our weather. And I'm going to start with something called November. This is a piece by Liz Davis Maxfield, and she was inspired by a poem that her great-great-great-grandfather wrote while he was in Chile. And in Chile in November, it's spring and everything is sprouting and blooming, and he was super homesick for the Northern Hemisphere. And so he wrote this poem saying how he wanted to be in the bleak, wintry blasts of November. And that inspired this song, November, by Liz Davis Maxfield. Next, I'm going to play a piece that showed up in my inbox this past week, about a week ago. This is a piece by the Celtic cellist Clíodhna Ní Aodáin, and she has written this piece to celebrate Samhain, which is the Celtic festival that happens about the 1st of November, and it is a festival that honors the darkness, that honors the fact that we're in the darker part of the year, and this is called The Darker Half. That was The Darker Half by Clíodhna Ní Aodáin. So now I'm going to turn to some music that more describes the darker side of the mind. The first piece I'm going to play in that vein is called Otho. It is by the cellist Zack Reaves. So I'm scoring 3 for 3 in cellist composers so far. I am tuning down my cello. This is called scordatura, which means basically untuned. And he requests that the C string be tuned down to a B. So this piece was written when his father was dying of Lewy body dementia, which is a horrible disease that gives you hallucinations and does really terrible things to your body. And Zack wrote this piece, which he dedicated to his father, whose name was Michael Otho Reaves. So the piece is called Otho with his middle name. He did manage to play the piece for his father the day before his father died in February 2020. And when he heard that I was playing it, he said I'm probably the second person that he knows of to have played it. So I'm very honored to present this piece, and I also play it in memory of Zack's father. This is Otho by Zack Reaves. was Otho by Zack Reaves. And you will hear in a later piece this pizzicato idea at the end that happened at the end of this piece. To me, this is a little bit of a death knell, a bell, and that's because that's how it's used in the later piece that I'm going to play. But so remember that sound. Next piece is called Loneliness. It is by Povilas Syrrist-Gelgota, who is, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing his name correctly, but that's how I'm going to do it. He is a Lithuanian composer who lives and works in Norway. Loneliness by Povilas Syrrist-Gelgota. So it's the Jewish month of Cheshvan, and Cheshvan is known as the sad month, the dark month. It's sad because there are no Jewish holidays in Cheshvan. We've come out of the holidays that we have in the fall. Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot is a big festive holiday, and we have Hanukkah, our festival of lights, upcoming in the next month. But Cheshvan doesn't have any holidays in it, so it's sad. And so I'm going to play a sad Jewish song. This is a song that was written in 1922 by Herman Yoblokov in the area that was Poland, Russia, not sure who owned it at the time. And it's called Papyrosin. Papyrosin means cigarettes. And it's the story of a boy whose parents have been vanished by the pogroms. And his sister, he's watched her die on the streets, and he is destitute, and the only way he's even surviving at all is by selling cigarettes, cheap cigarettes on the street, and he's pretty much at wit's end and kind of wants his life to end. so sad, it's a very sad song. Herman Yoblokov came in 1924 to the US. He was a quite famous Yiddish singer in Yiddish theater in New York in the early part of the 20th century. And there was a Yiddish theater piece called Papyrosen, which was a whole, like a musical based off this song, which was very, very popular in the Yiddish theater. This is an arrangement by David Warren Solomons. Papyrosen by Herman Yoblokov in an arrangement by David Solomons. So now I'm going to play something that was written in 1938 by the Spanish composer Rogelio Huguet y Tagell. And this is a piece called Hallucinations. It is based on an old legend from the Spanish Inquisition of a prisoner who is in his kind of dungeon cell, and he knows that when it's time for them to come get him, they're going to take him to the torture chamber, and then they're going to kill him. They're going to execute him. He knows that a bell will ring. And so this is the kind of death knell idea that I was talking about. You will hear right from the very beginning the same exact pizzicato sound that we heard at the end of Otho. And so he starts hearing this sound. This is the bell, the description of the bell. He hears it constantly, and he's hallucinating this bell. It drives him really, like, literally out of his mind because he's waiting for them to come and get him and torture him. And he ends up dying of fright in his cell. And as he's breathing his last, at the very end of the piece, we hear the clock tower bell toll 3 a.m. Another piece without a very happy story. Sorry about that. Okay, this is Hallucinations by Rogelio Huguet y Tagell. That was Hallucinations by Rogelio Huguet y Tagell. And again, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing his Spanish name correctly. Okay, I'm going to play something a little lighter hearted. And in order to do this, I need to put my pickup on my cello because I'm going to play a piece with loop pedal. Loop pedal is a thing. It's a pedal that records you and records however much you tell the pedal to record. So what's cool about it, as someone sitting in their studio by themselves, is you can play duets with yourself. So I'm going to play a piece specifically arranged for cello and loop pedal, but it always is easier for me to do this when I'm not in the middle of a concert, and my adrenaline got up a little bit in that last piece, so my hands are a tiny bit shaky, and so of course this is not working very well. Okay. This is a piece from the movie Black Orpheus, and the music in the movie is called Manhã de Carnaval. It's Portuguese. Something else I'm not pronouncing correctly. It means carnival morning. The music is, some of the music in that film is by Tom Jobim, famous Brazilian composer. This is very much in the same style. It is by Luis Bonfa. And this is an arrangement for cello and loop pedal by Natasha Jaffe, another cellist composer. The words of the original song are about hoping to find love, being alone with one's dreams. But this particular tune became kind of known as the Black Orpheus tune and was very, very, very popular. I think it was, the movie originally is from the 50s, maybe, mid-century. And so there's lots and lots and lots of sets of lyrics in all sorts of languages that have been written that go along with it. And I'm going to just do a little, here I'm turning on, I have a bunch of equipment that you can't see, and let me just make sure that that's coming through the speaker. I think it is. Yeah. I've got one more piece after this, which is going to serve as a sort of encore, if you will. This is the last official piece on the program. Okay, this is, hold on, sorry. Make sure pedals are in the right place. This is Manhã de Carnaval by Luis Bonfa in an arrangement by Natasha Jaffe. That was Mania di Carnaval in an arrangement by Natasha Jaffe. So I'm going to play one more piece that showed up in my inbox this week. This is a piece by Noam Faingold, and it is dedicated to the victims of the Hamas massacre. Whatever your politics, I think we can all agree that we would like the killing to stop. I think that that's something that all of us would really, really like to happen, to have peace for everyone and for people to stop dying. This specific piece is a Kaddish for October 7, 2023. May their memories be a blessing. I hope you'll join me the first Tuesday of December for a program with more light in it than this one did. I'm going to say goodbye now. Thank you so much for listening.